everybody, my name is Jennifer Irwin and you're here in my kitchen in Las Vegas, Nevada. So since I have pulled you in to Sin City, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share my most sinful dessert. So my absolute sinful dessert is called chocolate Chambord cheesecake. It's so good. It is rich and decadent and I'm telling you, and it's so easy to make. Just a few steps and you'll have a delicious cheesecake at home. So there's a couple essentials that you need for this cheesecake, and it's definitely one of them is a springform pan. The springform pan just makes your presentation completely foolproof because the pan moves away from the cake instead of trying to get the cake away from the pan. So we're going to use a 9-inch springform pan, and we're going to start with our crust. So our crust today is going to be 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs, and then we're going to use 1 stick of salted butter. I know usually in baking we don't use salted butter, but I like the saltiness in the crust. And then to that we're going to add 1/4 cup of sugar, and it just makes a nice crust. So we're just going to take this and we're going to pour it into our springform pan, just like that. And this is the fun part. You're going to use your fingers. And what we want to do is you just want to make sure that you pat it all down the bottom. And I made sure that I had plenty of crust because I've made cheesecakes before where there's not enough crust to cover the bottom or the side. So we're going to pat that down and roll it up the sides. And you can make it as even as possible, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This cheesecake, when it comes out, it's kind of a rustic looking cheesecake anyway. See how easy that was? Comes out buttery, a little salty, crispy, good. So once our crust is done, we get to start and work on our filling. Okay, so now that our crust is done, we're going to go ahead and start on our cheesecake batter. Another essential for cheesecake is you have to use really good cream cheese. I mean, even on the box it says preferred by customers, and I have made cheesecake with other cream cheese and it's just not the same. So we're going to use 3 boxes of deliciously rich Philadelphia cream cheese. To that I've just added 3/4 cup of sugar and a little pinch of salt. And we're just going to blend that together until it's fluffy. So now that our cheesecake batter is all nice and creamy and fluffy with the sugar, we're going to add just a couple other ingredients to it. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Then we're going to add the Cinful ingredient, which is going to be a raspberry liqueur called Chambord. And I know you're thinking when it comes to cooking with liqueurs, they can kind of be a little pricey, and I myself have omitted them from some recipes thinking I'm not going to spend $20 for 2 tablespoons in a dish. I just would leave it out. So when I decided on this cheesecake recipe, I thought there's got to be an alternative. So if you have a local wine and spirit store in your neighborhood, you'd be surprised at how many tiny bottles of liqueurs that they have, which they call kind of like their airline line, which is perfect for cooking. So when I went into my local wine and spirit store, I found this little tiny bottle of Chambord. Is that not just totally adorable? And it's perfect. It's perfect for cooking. It saves you on your budget. And when I was in line buying this, there was an older gentleman behind me and he said, "Girl, don't you know not to put your Chambord in the dryer?" I just thought it was hysterical. That a perfect stranger can make you laugh from your gut. So this is our simple ingredient, the Chambord. Or you can use any kind of raspberry liqueur that you like. The thing about the Chambord is we're going to put 2 full tablespoons in, and it's not going to change the color of our cheesecake or the consistency of our cheesecake. It's just going to perfume our cheesecake, so I still have that nice beautiful cream color, and it's just perfumed, and it didn't change the color of my cheesecake. It smells so good. So after we add that, we're just going to add 3 eggs, and we're going to add the eggs 1 at a time. You just want to make sure that you don't overbeat the batter. You just want to just beat it until the egg disappears into the cheesecake batter, and add the other 2. all of our eggs nicely incorporated into our batter. It's nice and smooth and still a beautiful cream color. We are just going to reserve 1 cup of this batter. So I'm just have 1 measuring cup, and I'm just going to label out. And the rest of it, we're just going to go ahead and pour right into our crust. Delicious graham cracker crust. Isn't that easy? I mean, just a few steps, and you have like a restaurant quality cheesecake at home with a little bit of sin. We got that all poured into our pan, but we did say chocolate, didn't we? So over to the side on a double boiler, I've just melted 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. So I'm going to go ahead and get those out. And now it's just nice and creamy. Really easy to do. I'm just going to make sure that there's no lumps in it. Just kind of stir it around just to cool it off a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and take our 1 cup reserved batter, and we're just going to pour it right in to our melted chocolate. We're just going to mix this up, and this is just going to become a nice, creamy chocolate color. And it's going to look so good against that cream. And this is the fun part of the cheesecake. This is when the cheesecake becomes a star, your star cheesecake. So, I'll show you what I mean. So we're just going to take this batter and we're just going to pour it right in the center of our lovely cheesecake. And then we get to be a little creative. And I promise you, if you make this for your friends and your family, they'll think you're a star. They'll never ask you to bring a salad to their party again. So we have that in the center of our cake, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a star. We're going to make this cheesecake just explode. So we're just going to take a knife, and we're just going to draw this cheesecake batter that's all chocolatey out to the sides of the crust. And it just makes the prettiest design on it. Just turn it just like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This cheesecake kind of comes out a little rustic anyways, and the star, it always looks different. This cheesecake always looks different every time I make it. But everybody always loves it. And most cheesecakes have some sort of glaze on top, but my chocolate star is my glaze. I don't put anything else on this cake. So now what we do is we're going to go ahead and put it in a preheated oven. Your oven's going to be heated to 350 degrees, and you're going to bake it for 45 to 50 minutes. When you bake it, the colors just, the cream gets creamier and the chocolate gets a little bit lighter, and sometimes it cracks a little bit on the top, and that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and pop that in. So our cheesecake is baking, and just like most cheesecakes, it's better if you give it a little bit of time in the fridge for it to set up. So this is a perfect dessert to make either the night before you have a function or the morning of a function. The minimum hours is like 2 hours in the refrigerator, but if it stays overnight, it's even better. So I just want to show you what the cheesecake looks like after it's baked. Take that out. Alright. So you can see how it's kind of cracked a little bit, but I love that about it, and that it's nice and firm to the touch. That's when you know your cheesecake is perfectly cooked. So now that my Cinful cheesecake is baked and I've given it a little time out in the refrigerator, I want to show you what my finished product looks like. So this is our Cinful chocolate Chambord cheesecake, and you can see that the cream in the center, it's so creamy, the crust goes all the way up the sides, it's nice and thick and flaky, and then the chocolate that just, the star that just makes such a pretty design on the top, that there's really nothing else to top this cheesecake but with a little bit of nature. So I've put some fresh raspberries on the top. So thanks for coming to Vegas. Thanks for letting me share my Cinful chocolate Chambord cheesecake with you. Thanks to Paula Dean and to the Philadelphia cream cheese for giving all of us women this opportunity.